Want to see the best Airbnb that I have ever stayed at? Well, you're going to get the tour, I promise. And before you ask, yes, that is a scab on my forehead. And that is a pretty embarrassing explanation that I'm going to save until the end of the video. But before all of that, just know this place that I'm about to show you, tucked away in Uvero Alto on the northeastern edge of the Punta Cana region, wasn't really just an Airbnb. Sitting north of the main resort zone and facing the Atlantic, it felt like a hard reset. The kind that quietly strengthens your resolve to build something like this for yourself one day. And I am spilling all the details and travel tips that I can think of, either verbally or in the YouTube description down below, so you could plan something similar with your loved ones. In this video, I will show you our world-class Airbnb, a beachside treehouse hiding out in Uvero Alto, just a little removed from the busier Punta Cana areas most people picture when they imagine this part of the DR. We'll break down the area around it in case this ends up on your travel radar. Then we step outside our Airbnb bubble, covering the best meals we had, from selecting and cooking our own fish back at the lodge to having it tailor prepped in Playa Macao. We also found a surprisingly solid beach club in Punta Cana, where the pool has a perfect view of the beach and the beach has an equally perfect view of the pool. Dangerous symmetry. And yes, we will be closing with the forehead scab story, which is a souvenir that was almost as permanent as a passport stamp, but thank goodness that didn't happen. It's practically gone now. For skincare routines and scar removing techniques, feel free to reach out. Oh, and as usual, this video is not sponsored. It's just our own money, our thoughts, and a little documentation. Part home video for my kids, part travel guide for you. I'll shut up now. Let's get started. Welcome to Uvero Alto, the quieter, slightly mysterious cousin of Punta Cana. Geographically, it all sits within La Altagracia, which is why Uvero Alto often gets grouped under the Punta Cana umbrella. But the experience is noticeably different. The stretch of coastline faces the Atlantic Ocean, not the Caribbean Sea, which explains the stronger breezes, bigger swells, and more untamed feel. Same Caribbean blues, fewer wristbands, and a whole lot more breathing room. It's close enough to Punta Cana to be convenient, but far enough to feel like you slipped off the main road and found something intentional. Not sleepy, just selective, and honestly, that is the appeal. And for those following along, this is stop number 2 of 4 on our month-long trip. Stop number 1 in Bayahíbe is in the previous video, which you can find right there. And it sets the stage. Hospital photos from the day Maisha was born, packing for a 1-month trip, flying into Punta Cana from DFW, the rental car process and costs, and the small decisions that actually made this whole thing work. If you want the full backstory, that is where it starts. Getting to Uvero Alto and our Airbnb. Okay, here's the truth. Renting a car is the move in the DR, and I cannot think of any other way to do it, unless you intend to stay just in one area. You see, when you have your own car, you travel on your own schedule, stop when you want, and occasionally pull over when a soiled diaper completely changes the ambiance of the car, and you have no choice but to stop. And if you don't, then you are just inflicting pain on everybody in the car. The roads are smooth, the driving laws are reasonable, and the freedom alone makes it all worth it. Getting to Uvero Alto from Bayahíbe was smooth sailing. About a 2.5 journey with stops. A straight, beautiful drive with pristine highways, clean roads, and long scenic stretches where you can just settle in and enjoy the ride. All right, important heads up on the toll booths. There are more toll booths than you would expect, at least that happened in my case. And these toll booths only take Dominican pesos. No cards, no USD, no euros, local hard cash. How much? Well, we saw some toll booths that were charging you 60 to 100 in pesos, which is about $1 to $2 USD. And then there were some other ones that were charging us about 200 pesos, which was 3 to 4 USD. So carrying 500 to 1,000 pesos in small bills, if you do that, you should be able to cruise through without any unnecessary stops. Another unexpected highlight was the gas stations. You don't pump your own gas, an attendant does it for you. And some of these stops are shockingly nice and pristine. Not the in and out I had in mind, but let's go check it out. So this gas station has a full-on bar and a restaurant. And then I was not expecting a superb bathroom. The arrangement is proper. Look at that. And then There's a little store inside this gas station that has practically everything. Good empanadas, good juices, good selection of beer. I was very impressed by that. Oh way, man. Look what I found. Holy smokes. In Dominican Republic. And now it's time to go home before my wife yells at me. A California kid who's been living in Texas for over a decade, reunited with Lost Coast Brewery's Great White and Tangerine Wheat. These are beers I grew up on. And now we meet again on a Dominican highway, completely unexpected, deeply appreciated. So we rolled into Uvero Alto, and the handoff was refreshingly simple. Our Airbnb hosts team had us meet at a nearby shopping center. Super responsive, clear directions, very cordial. From there, we followed a golf cart straight to the beach lodge, which was about 5 minutes away, and they took me to my own private parking spot. Zero guesswork, and honestly, I've been looking forward to showing you this place. Where we stayed, the Uvero Alto Airbnb Lodge. This was our home in Uvero Alto for 5 days, and calling it an Airbnb still feels like I'm underselling it. Think beachside treehouse sort of thing. We were excited to show you this one. I guess you could consider this a treehouse slash hut. Got the beach right there. And here's what we got. A-frame ceilings, warm wood, thatched details, and a constant salty ocean breeze rolling through like it's on payroll. Inside, the hosts had clearly thought of everything. Eggs, filtered drinking water, which we use for the baby's milk bottles, a lightly preloaded fridge, which was great, and a kitchen fully ready to go with utensils, coffee, and spices. Plenty of storage, which matters when traveling with kids and their mysterious ability to multiply belongings. What's up? Okay, yeah? You're gonna do poo-poo in privacy?
Or pee-pee.
Or pee-pee. Okay. Though the one thing I'm thinking about is that the bug situation might not be ideal. There was even a locker for valuables, helpful, though it would have been better if it were bolted to the wall. Yes, we mentioned it, slight oversight, but we still had fun with it. Today, I'm going to introduce you to the safest safe you've ever seen. It's made with newest technology with your safety and security in mind. Check this out. Okay, have you put in everything you needed to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Bye-bye. The ocean wasn't nearby. It was right outside the balcony. Close enough that I could have tested my arm and skipped a stone if I wanted to, but I didn't. I chose peace by not popping a passerby in the eye with my skipping stone. Even with 3 to 4 smaller lodges nearby, it felt genuinely private, quiet, tucked away, and perfectly positioned between forest jungle behind me and sea in front of me. And then there was the service, which is a wild thing to say for Airbnbs, but hear me out. Every other day, they'd swing by to restock the groceries, change the sheets, and even do laundry. They helped with our bags at check-in and helped me carry all those suitcases for our 1-month-long trip up the stairs, which was nice. I really appreciated that. And then they were incredibly responsive, and if we needed to get around nearby, a golf cart would appear within 30 minutes. So we get a free golf cart with our Airbnb, and if you book before 7, they take you around town for free. Ceiling blinds let the light pour in, the breeze did most of the work, and when it didn't, there was air conditioning and a fan, because life is all about balance. Not a resort, not pretending to be one, just a beach hideout that quietly sets a new standard. And why this stay will always be unforgettable for me. The cost? We paid $1,270 USD for 6 days. And I do not remember being charged separately for the electricity or utilities. The area around our Airbnb in Uvero Alto surprised us, and in a good way. Directly underneath the lodge, you've got a handful of small shops, a massage spot, and a souvenir place called Tropical Treasure for last-minute gifts, or we definitely traveled there proof. You're going to be getting the massage. It's a beautiful shop. I had no idea they have cigars and rum. Oh, hey, buddy, what's up? You showed up too? We're gonna make our way to the little shop that is right next to the Airbnb, which is super convenient, by the way. 1 second. ¿Qué tiene adentro?
Ropa y
Oh, no hay de comida.
No, no tiene nada de comida adentro.
No,
Ok, no es un supermercado, solamente un mercado por ropas y todo.
Sí, para
¿Me puede dar una cervecita, por favor?
Sí, allá el vasito.
¿A dónde? Ok, bueno.
Out back, there's a casual bar that understands priorities. Ice cold beer with frost on the glass. Fresh coconut water served inside the actual coconut.
All right, so this rum punch is never ending. And I'm very conflicted because I'm very unhappy because it keeps on going, but then I'm also very, very happy about this.
You don't like it?
And unexpectedly, adorable puppies casually roaming around like emotional support staff. On a scorching day, this place earns its keep. Right next door, behind the lodge, there is a small military presence in a modest building, possibly Navy, but definitely official.
The Airbnb's over here. The army post is over here.
Whatever branch it was, it added a quiet layer of reassurance. The area felt so safe that we left our beach tent out for half of our stay. No one touched it, no fiddling, no disappearing acts. That level of calm says a lot. The surrounding coastline is dotted with resorts. Places like Royalton, Punta Cana, Dreams, and Nickelodeon's hotel is in that vicinity. You're free to walk past them on the beach, but services are for guests only, and they're pretty strict about that. Unless you make friends with other resort guests, and then you are all one big group. Beach diplomacy can work wonders. Our unofficial headquarters became Beach Cocomar. Great food. They serve everyone, not just resort guests, and that alone makes them heroes in my eyes. There's a giant beach swing out front where a suspicious amount of time disappeared, and if you're eating or drinking there, you can also use their pools in the back. Fair deal, no wristbands, no attitude, highly recommend. And 5 minutes down the road from the Airbnb by car, you will find Playa Palmera. Things open up there even more. A decent-sized supermarket for your grocery needs, pizza, ice cream, and a handful of fancier restaurants in a square type of feeling, if you're feeling kind of polished.
Okay, 5 minutes away from the house, driving, or a 20-minute walk, I am at a plaza called Plaza Palmera. And around me, I see a bunch of restaurants. I see a club. I see a gift shop. I'm looking for a certain pizzeria, which I'm going to go find in a second. Oh, I see a supermercado right over there. Florecita, that's a nice little burning sign. Nice. But there are a lot of food options if you decide to stay at our Airbnb. There's a good-looking restaurant right over there called Mami Chula or something. And I'm looking for a certain pizzeria so I can to-go some pizza home. It's a golf cart community, and I think this plaza is part of a bigger resort and a living community.
There's also a club called Roxy. Open, fully lit, music ready, and when I walked in, it was just me and a dance floor waiting on its friends. Strong confidence, zero turnout. Bad timing, perhaps. All in all, the area struck a rare balance. Quiet, safe, and functional without feeling too isolated. Enough nearby to be convenient, but calm enough to stay grounded. The kind of place where nothing flashy happens. And exactly why this works.
Just got some pizza from a spot 5 minutes away. Not bad. I don't know about corn on pizza, but I'm going to try it. Okay, open that one. That one looks good. Okay. What do you think? Is it good? All right, good.
And then here are the things that we did outside of our Airbnb bubble. Let's start with Playa Macao. One of our real excursions away from the Airbnb was Playa Macao, about a 20 to 25 minute drive north from Uvero Alto and one of the Dominican Republic's most famous public beaches.
This is our first outing from this Airbnb because it's not too easy to go with the family. So, we are at some entrance of Macao Beach. I see a bunch of shops over there. I see restaurants. I see the stunning water. I'll show you around. Hang on. Okay, so we have this guy that kind of just let us in by moving the cone. Haven't paid him anything yet, but let's see if that changes.
Macau is not a hidden secret. It's one of those few beaches in the region that locals and travelers both genuinely love, known for its wide strip of white sand, tongue twister, clear turquoise waters that make it a favorite for surfers and adventure seekers alike.
Okay. It's a different kind of rooster.
The vibe here felt organized in a way that still feels real. Folks in labeled shirts and uniforms were easy to spot. Surf instructors, vendors, and local guides who actually seemed to know what their zone was. Not tourist trap organized, but thoughtfully structured in my opinion, so you never wonder who's supposed to be where. It's busy in a good way, friendly, easy to navigate, and breezy without being crazy chaotic.
All right, tour time. And yes, the injury is getting better. The swelling is coming down. And then the scab is coming together very nicely. But let me show you around real quick. Hang on. So you're not distracted by the bump on my head where I ate sand. 1 second. Okay. So this is Playa Macao. The water is a little rougher. It's known for surfing, windsurfing, other sporting activities. And then that is my favorite site so far because I haven't seen that yet at a DR beach. But mind you, I've only gone to a couple. Limestone cliffs. There's another beach over there that we're going to go try checking out. It is a very touristy beach, but it's very organized. You have vendors wearing shirts. Some shirts say that they are a security guard. Some shirts say that they sell drinks or fruit. So it's very well organized. And there are different zones at this beach at Playa Macao. That right there is my favorite spot. I just love the lining of the trees all the way to the back until it gets a little foggy back there at the corner. But yeah, good sight. We're sitting back there for now. We're gonna eat some food. Got 2 fish, one we're grilling, one we're getting fried.
You immediately get the sense that this place is rooted in both local life and tourism culture. You can tell just by walking around. There are surf schools, dune buggy tours that I saw, horseback riding right on the sand, and spots to grab a cold drink without wandering half the beach. The geology is dramatic too. Golden sand stretching wide, palm trees framing the shore, and surfable waves meeting shoreline in a way that reminds you the Caribbean isn't just a postcard, it is a force. Speaking of force, the water here can get pretty punchy. On our visit, we saw someone get a little too confident and almost got dragged out by rip currents, only for lifeguards to clearly lay down the law. You don't have to be afraid, but you do need to respect what the ocean's doing and listen to the people whose job that actually is. Culturally, it's more lively than Uvero Alto's quieter stretch. Vendors, music, kids playing, surfers sizing up sets, and horses casually grazing or trotting by like they are part of the scenery, which they are. The answer to the burning question, yes, you'll see colorful macaws, as in the birds. Captive, sadly, but available for photos, also sadly. And then there was the meal, at a restaurant called Restaurante El Fogón de Doña Mary. It was one of the best meals we had during our 1 month long trip in Dominican Republic. We picked our fish fresh and almost as big as our baby daughter. Check it out.
This? This?
That one.
One.
How much is that?
Here, look. 2.5 pounds, 2.5.
Okay. Okay.
Balance.
Let's do this one.
This one.
Yeah, that one.
This is other kind of trooper too.
Okay, let's do that one. So grill this one, fry that one.
Okay. The grill take a little bit long time.
That's
more
fine.
time.
No problem. What's your name again?
Alejandro.
Alejandro. Mucho gusto. Chad, I'm ready.
And then we had it tailor prepped, exactly
Let's
how
go.
we wanted it. No menus needed, just fresh catch and local expertise.
That's a lot of skill.
Yeah.
Very good. Quick.
This professional.
I will cut my hand. The entire thing would be covered in blood if it was me.
Amazing. Beautiful. Wow. Amazing, amazing.
Alejandro, in your own beautiful voice, tell us what we got.
Oh, this is the red snapper with
Okay.
French fries and tostones,
Okay.
Dominican style,
Okay.
and conch salads.
Conch salad. This is like a conch ceviche. It's strictly just okay. It's just missing that spark, you know, that ceviche usually has, with like just the lime juice exploding everything. And I think, I can't say for sure, but the conch doesn't seem so fresh. That one is just grilled. Comes with veggies. It's come with beans, Dominican style, and rice. swear, man, as I get older and older, I am beginning to have a newfound appreciation for fried fish. Chio, aka snapper. Poor baby's crying in the back over there. She's hungry. Fried to perfection. I always said spice level is fantastic. Although it could be spicier, but you know, we are in a country that doesn't eat much spice.
But can I have ice cream?
I'm done with one side. Oh, wow. Still crispy. This was on the other side for a little while, and it has still maintained that crisp texture.
Playa Macao feels like a place with organized energy but local soul. It's beautiful, wild enough to feel alive, structured enough to feel safe, and the kind of beach that deserves its reputation. You go for the surf and scenery, and then you stay for the spontaneity. The next place I want to talk about is Huracán Beach Club in Bavaro Beach. This is the more touristy Punta Cana that you have seen in magazines and blogs. About a 35 to 45 minute drive from Uvero Alto, depending on traffic.
Okay, new beach today. We are going to the very renowned Bavaro Beach. It was Macao Beach yesterday. Today's Bavaro Beach. Bavaro Beach is known to be one of the top beaches in the Caribbean. Blue waters, powdery sands, you know, just every analogy you can think of when it comes to like just ocean beauty. It's known for its coral reef, it's known for calm surfs, it's known for its all-inclusive hotels. And we're just gonna go there and see what we can find. But it is supposed to be, Iman says sea glass, so hopefully we can find some sea glass. But yeah, looking forward to it because we've heard so much about Bavaro Beach our entire lives. We're finally gonna go see it. Okay, talk to you soon, bye-bye.
The drive itself is pretty straightforward, but once you hit the hotel-heavy beach zone in the Bavaro Beach area, parking becomes a competitive sport. Not impossible, just requires confidence, patience, and light negotiation skills with a decent vocabulary of curse words. Huracán itself was refreshingly uncomplicated. No cover, no theatrics. As long as you're ordering food and drinks, the place opens right up to you. And we took full advantage. A solid spread of food. Service was genuinely good. Attentive without hovering, friendly without trying to upsell you a whole lifestyle.
Señor, dígame, ¿qué es eso?
Tempura,
Tempura.
mixta, tiradito, hamachi,
Ah, bueno.
mofonguito, de ropa vieja.
Ok, ¿y su nombre?
Wilkin de la Rosa.
Wilkin de la Rosa. Bueno, gracias,
De
señor.
la Rosa, no de las rosas.
De la Rosa.
Si mi esposa se da cuenta que yo estoy diciendo de las rosas.
There's fish in here, which has got skin on it. And I haven't had that in paella. So, just a quick observation. The seafood content and the quantity is amazing. Every bite has a little piece of seafood coming in. And the seafood itself has been cooked really, really well. Like the shrimp, it's not chewy. The fish is melting in your mouth. That's good. I don't think it needs any sauce. Nor does it need any salt. Not super blown away, but it's still very good. Like I would give it an 8 out of 10.
The crowd felt mixed in the best way, travelers, locals, families, and people who clearly had this place figured out already. It didn't feel trendy, it felt established. Time split between the glass infinity pool and the beach, and somehow we walked in right as a free salsa class kicked off downstairs by the beach area. Nothing like learning footwork while digesting some early dinner.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Bavaro itself gave me a strong Cancun energy, busier, louder, clearly built for tourism. Very fun, very active. I'm not talking smack about it, but then very different from the calm, spaced out rhythm of Uvero Alto. Not better nor worse, just operating on a different wavelength. And like many beaches in the DR, this one also came with a wandering fisherman moment. Guys walking down the sand, proudly displaying their catch like a seafood gallery.
Un snapper. Solo quiere un chio y otra aquí.
Okay.
Finally found a fisherman, so we bought 2 fish from him. One is like a flatter, flounder-looking thing, and the other is like a snapper. So $20 for 2. Paid him an extra 5 for cleanup, so we don't have to worry about that once we get to the Airbnb. But yeah, let's see how it turns out. He didn't have a knife on him, so he gave some of that money to somebody else for cleanup. Oh, here he comes. Hang on.
Está limpio.
Perfecto. Ok. Ahorita vengo con su cash, ¿ok? ¿Tiene dos bolsitas?
This time, we finally said yes, because we already had the spices, the setup, and the confidence back at the lodge. We bought the fish, took it home, and cooked it ourselves later that night.
So, we made two different kinds of fish today. One of them was a red snapper, aka chillo, as the locals call it. The other one we bought is a flat reef fish, which the local was calling dinia, and might be something else. However, we made that too. We prepped them both the same exact way. First we fried it, and then we poured some coconut milk, garlic, and a bunch of veggies just prepped together, and we just poured that up top. This one turned out great, as expected. Juicy, crispy, everything like we wanted it to be. However, this one, I would describe it closer to a dirty old towel. That's what the taste was like. A smelly glass.
And don't forget, it smelled like poo and butt.
It smells like butt, or tasted like butt. That's what Iman says.
Okay, how I'd like to conclude. This wraps up Uvero Alto, of course. It was quiet, intentional, and exactly what we needed at that very moment. Time truly did slow down here. Our son grew a little older. Our daughter learned how to settle into a constant ocean breeze, with the eyes adjusting, tiny hands relaxing, naps sinking to the rhythm of the waves. Hot, self-brewed coffee or cold frosted bottles of beer were consumed with my feet dipped into the shore, and it wasn't rushed at all. Hours disappeared on the balcony, just watching the ocean, doing what it's always doing. Great food, easy drives, and just enough adventure to remind us we were moving forward without needing to push. And as promised, the forehead scab. Okay, so we all agree that drinking and driving is terrible. We all condemn it. But you know what else is bad? Is drinking and walking in the bushes at night in complete darkness with flip-flops on and a phone that has terrible lighting. And I remember getting hit with something on my forehead, which I feel that was a tree branch, and then me saying ouch really, really loudly to absolutely nobody but myself. But the scab is gone now, thanks to this very aggressive and effective Sephora skincare cream. Message me if you want the name. Next up, Las Terrenas. Different coasts, different rhythms, some of the best beaches I've seen in my life. And I know I say this all the time, but I mean it again. Including Playa Cozon, where the river meets the ocean, and Chef Medina Taylor prepped one of our most memorable meals. Yes, another one. There were a couple in DR, this was also one of them. A bustling town that feels like a slice of Europe that somehow landed in the Caribbean, plus swimming through what felt like a dreamy underwater garden sequence. You gotta see it to believe it. And then trust me, there's much more, and this chapter levels up. I say this all the time, I'll say it again, but you can be anywhere else, but you're here with me, giving me your precious time. I'm grateful, I'm humbled. Thank you for being here, thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.